Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So this video here is part 2 on the 4-part series on the respray of this BA Ford Falcon Ute. So we started off by getting it all into bare metal. We then got it into epoxy primer. I then let it sit for a couple of days and then did all my body filler repairs over the top of the epoxy primer. There was even a couple of panels that I decided to put some polyester spray filler over, which if you do not know what that is, it is basically like spray-on bog. So bog is a polyester product, and so is the polyester spray filler. So you got to spray that on quite heavy with a like minimum 2.5 mil fluid tip spray gun. That's the largest fluid tip I've got on a spray gun, and yeah, that's obviously what I had to use for it. But some people go for a 3 mil fluid tip spray gun. But what we're doing here is just putting a coat of wet on wet down and then straight down to the color. So one thing that I love about solvent, which is what we're using on this job here, is just how you can just use the same gun the whole way through the job. You can just go wet on wet and then just a quick flush through. You just get a little bit of thinners through that gun, through the Pro Light, and then even between base coat and clear coat, same thing. You can just flush it through with a little bit of thinners, and yeah, it really does. Every time I go back to spray some solvent, the Pro Light just feels like the right tool for the job. I know when you're spraying waterborne these days and when you're getting those sort of high-end finishes, that it does actually feel a little bit dated, and maybe that's just me. But to be completely honest, I don't use it with waterborne, and I don't really use it for clear coat that much. But for this job here, I did use it for clear coat, and it was, yeah, it was perfect. But so the color code is P3, so the name of the color is Phantom, and yep, a good fit for the color. I absolutely love this color. You wait until we get these panels flow coated, it just pops. But it doesn't particularly cover that well, which is relatively common for high chroma colors. So this color here, whilst it is dark, it's got like quite a bit of color in it. So yeah, it was pretty important for me to get the whole car sort of ground coated up, and that's what I used that wet on wet primer for. So of course, when you do your prep work, it's pretty common to sand through and get little cut throughs here and there. There was 1 or 2 cut throughs on the bonnet, and I just sprayed straight over them, and it took an extra like 2 or 3 coats. So I did know what I was in for by the time I was up to the doors, so I did make sure that I put a coat of wet on wet down. Now some of the, you know, like with spray painting, there's always trade-offs with every single decision that you make. Like there's the advantage of using wet on wet. It seals down any bare metal. It will give you that sort of good solid ground coat, but then you can potentially introduce a fine amount of orange peel and potential shrink back. But then you've got to think about, well, the exact way that we're doing this job here. The way that we're doing this job here is we were flow coating it. So any dye back and shrink back, it really didn't matter. Even orange peel, it really didn't matter, because the whole car was getting chopped back with a bit of 500 grit, and then it was getting flow coated anyway. So it was a non-issue. So another thing that we did with this job, originally we were planning on chopping it back with like 1200 grit, 2000 grit, 3000, 5000, and getting like one of those show car finishes. So originally I was going to hit it with 3 coats of clear to start off with, and then sand it back like pretty much the same way as I did my Torana, because I enjoyed doing that on my Torana. Now whilst it did take a bit of time, it's something that you don't get the opportunity to do that often. And this job here was part of a fill-in job, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of, you know, upskill my detailer, and you know, potentially, yeah, look, the way I see life and the world is the more you know, the more you're worth as a person and as an employee. So I thought, hey, if we can build some skills up. But then we did like a little corner of the bonnet, and this clear, so it was the Opti clear, which is like PPG DC 501. It's a specific solvent-based clear, and it really doesn't cut. Like it was an absolute nightmare. We did like one little section, and I'm like, nah, man, we're gonna flow coat this whole car instead, because that was the boss's original request. He's like, hey, come like flow coat this job. It's my car, make it look nice. Do what you got to do to make that clear coat look nice and shiny and high gloss. He said flow coat, and I'm like, hey, let's chop it back and you know, do that Resto finish type thing. And he's like, yep, whatever, do what you want to do. He didn't really care. the most common issue that you'll come across when you're doing those kind of resto finishes is removing your deeper scratches. So to remove that orange peel, you need to really hit it with, say, 1200 grit, like anything finer, and you're just knocking the top off. You're not actually going to completely remove that orange peel properly. So to get rid of those 1200 grits with your, you've got to go down through the grade. So you've got to go 1200 and by block with like a wet sand, and then you've got to go, say, 1500 orbital, then 2000 orbital, 3000 orbital, 5000 orbital. And even if you miss a few of those 2000 grit scratches, you just won't get them out with the buff. So it's very particular, and you do use a lot of sandpapers, and it does take a lot of time. I think I forgot just how involved it was, and it's pretty much a painter's job. It's somebody who's got lots of experience sanding job to do that. Like, I mean, maybe high-end detailers or very well-experienced detailers could do it, but it does take a little bit of time. So it's actually much faster and much easier to just chop it back with a bit 500, 800, and then reflow coat it. So eventually that's what we ended up doing. But as you can see there, we gave the things like the dashboard a little bit of a quick coat of color. That was actually my call, because as I say, it was the boss's car, and he did want us to do a nice job. So I saw how faded that dash was, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it now because the window's out. But again, the spray gun I'm using is a GTI Pro Light Gunman Edition TE20 1.3. Just putting some wet on wet, or sealer down, as my American friends would say. Again, it's just handy just to cover up any of those even potential sanding scratches, because I did block the whole car down. Now, look, there's levels to this, and as some have mentioned in the comments on some of my Instagram videos, they're like, hey, like, this car, it's not even worth repairing. But it's like, hey, well, it's not your car, who gets to say that? And we get looked after by PPG. When we're doing our own cars, of course, we do spend quite a lot of money with PPG, so when we're spraying our own cars, PPG look after us with the colour, so you can sort of knock that out. And especially when it's a fill-in job, then it's not really actually costing the boss or the owner, because it's his car. It's not even costing him that much money, especially when you've got the Gunman on the job. But if you're wondering how much colour we used for this car here, so it was a full respray inside and out, including the tub, but we didn't paint the inside of the tub because that had a liner, like one of those plastic liners on it. So I ordered in 4 litres of colour, and we used pretty much every single last drop. When there was like a couple of mirrors or something that I had to paint, I ended up even having to mix up like 100 mils in water. So that's how close I was to using it all. Like, I literally did use it all, like pretty much every single last drop. But that was including the hard lid. So there's like a plastic hard lid that goes on top of the Ute tray. So of course that did use quite an extra little bit of paint. Now the colour is PPG Deltron, so it gets thinned out 1:1. So we got the pre-mixed colour in P3, of course, and it's called Phantom Ford Australia. And yeah, so we got 4 litres of pre-mixed colour unthinned, and then that had to get thinned down 1:1. So we actually end up with 8 litres after it was mixed. But as I did mention before, the coverage wasn't exactly great. So what I do with colours like this, I'll do 2 coats in the door jambs just to make sure it's covered, and I'll do that 3rd coat on the outside. But yeah, as I said at the very start, if there was any cut throughs, I noticed that it needed an extra sort of 2 to 3 coats. But when I'm spraying solvent, I've found it's just easier. You just have the same settings for every single coat, just 25 PSI, that's on the Pro Light there. Full fan, full fluid. You don't need to sort of spray the 2nd coat any different than the 1st coat. Unless you're doing some of those like golds and silvers. I do remember they used to be the mildly tricky ones, but again, being solvent, you get so many tries with it. You don't have to sort of get it right the first try, and then your base coat blend is going to dry, and then you're going to have all these sort of issues coming up. I would nearly say to somebody who's never used any automotive paint, it would be easier to adjust to solvent than it would be to water, and it just feels easy, even after all these years of not using it. But again, this is what I was talking about before, where you can just go, bang, you'll put the black through the gun, you'll put the wet on wet through the gun, you'll put the colour through the gun, and as you can see on the side of the gun, there's little bits of paint from each layer, because you don't have to take it out and give it a proper good strip down and a clean between coats. You can just flush a little bit of thinners through it and just bang, 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 continue on with the job. So things like that, it does feel just more efficient nearly. But of course for the engine bay here, we're just doing a bit of a satin finish on it. So that's like 60-40 from memory. I've got a couple of spray outs, so whenever I need like a matte or a satin finish, I've got go-to color cards for it with the different gloss levels all ready to go straight into. Now, if I was doing the final finish on this, I probably wouldn't want to be spraying the engine bay at the same time, but as I mentioned before, the whole car was getting a flow coat anyway, so I knew it didn't matter. Like if a little bit of dust and stuff like that landed in the finish, it's all going to get sanded back anyway, as long as you don't have like white or grey specks. But yes, as I mentioned before, the clear coat I'm using here is the Opti Clear, and the main reason I used it, well the only reason I used it, was because we had a couple of cans of it just sitting there, and it was specifically a solvent based clear. It's designed to go over this solvent based base coat, and it's crap, and I just wanted to use it up, and I knew I was going to chop it back and yeah, flow coat it. So like it doesn't flow out, it goes on orange peeling, and this is even after like warming it up. So the regulars to the channel will know that I'm not just making excuses. If you go and watch sort of more of my recent videos when I'm spraying the good quality clear coats like the 131, I can get much better finishes than this. Yeah, you've got to do what you got to do sometimes, and yeah, it's good to just sort of use up that crappy old clear, because for the longest time I really struggled with the PPG clears, like the 136 and the 105 clear coats. I really don't rate them. So what we were doing is sort of speaking to one of the paint reps and trying to just find a clear coat that I liked that would go down nice. That's why we had this Opti Clear, the 501 in, and no, it just wasn't for me. So the clear coat just sat there for a couple of years, and obviously found a job to use it up on here. But this is the car when it's all finished off. We're going to continue on with it in part 3, but this was part 2. And just before we finish the video here, I did want to let you guys know that we do have a Gunman Edition DV1. So if you want to get yourself an awesome Gunman Edition, limited numbers of them, get yourself a Gunman DV1, available in clear coat, base coat, digital and non-digital. We'll ship it worldwide, and it also comes with a 2-tip deal, so it'll come with a 1.2 and a 1.3 mil fluid tip, just to add a little bit of value. And to my Aussie viewers, if you let Spray Guns Direct know, because that's where they're sold, if you let them know that you're Aussie, we will send out a spray gun cleaning kit and a pair of Gunman Edition overalls. So that's the awesome quality Colad branded Gunman spray suit. So yeah, be sure to let them know if you're an Australian to get that deal. That's about it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you did get a bit of value out of this, and as I say, if you've got value out of the channel over the years that you can use with like real world skills, then you know, go get yourself a Gunman Edition spray suit or any of the merch. There's a link in the description, spraygunsdirect.co.uk. Thanks again for making this happen, and until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.